I'm often carrying things in one hand and sometimes both. This makes it a bit tricky to open Tesla doors. You have to press in and then at the same time grab the other side that pops out. Tesla likely made this decision for style points and maybe a slightly lower drag coefficient, but it's an annoying extra step. However, there is a hidden trick. If you push in hard enough, it pops the door out far enough. You can then take that finger off and then open the door from the side. Now on to the second problem I've had with owning a Tesla. And at the end, I'm going to share my overall thoughts. Is buying a Tesla a good decision? I'd also really appreciate it if you just tap the like button as well as subscribe, because that helps me out as a small creator. When driving in a Model Y, I don't stand out like the Cybertruck. However, I do still get looks and occasional comments. Just driving a few days ago, a college-aged kid, he actually flicked me off when driving by, and then we ended up stopping at the same stoplight. So I rolled down my window, and he ended up learning that his bias was wrong. Either way, the Model Y has already become the best-selling car in the world. We're going to see a lot more of these on the roads in the years ahead, and this attention, it's going to fade just as these cars become more common. So the third issue that I have, it should also fade over time as well. I've been coal-rolled maybe 5 times so far. This is when a truck drives in front of you and spews out extra smoke. But every time this has happened, I just kind of chuckled to myself. I've invested in oil companies. And also Teslas have great air filters in them. There's a feature called bioweapon defense mode. It's also great if you're around forest fire smoke, which those seem to be getting more headlines during the summer. This fourth problem with Teslas, it hasn't happened to me for a while. However, it is good to know how to fix it in advance. Your front Tesla screen, that dashboard screen, it might freeze. And it's the only thing that shows your current speed. It also has many of the other driving controls. It froze once while I was on the highway, and to fix it, I had to click and hold in both the left and the right scroll wheels on the driving wheel. This reboots the system, and while that's happening, it still is safe to drive. I'll link to a quick video that shows you more on doing that. For the fifth Tesla problem, it's just the overall service. I've had to deal with so many little mistakes, like not being able to enter in a new address when I bought my mobile chargers from Tesla. They wouldn't let me change the delivery address, and they delivered them to one of my old addresses, which then I had to have someone send them to me. Or more recently, Tesla didn't use my Tesla credits correctly for supercharging. Overall, Tesla has grown rapidly, and the service side of the business, it's really struggling to keep up. This sixth problem ties into that as well. If you live in a less populated area, you're going to have to travel likely farther away, to pick up your Tesla and for follow-up service. I'm in South Dakota, and I had about a 5-hour drive to the nearest showroom. But luckily going forward, more regular car shops and garages, they're learning how to help with Tesla maintenance and repairs. Coming in at number 7, long road trips will take longer in a Tesla. On a 10-hour day of driving, a gas car is going to save you close to 30 minutes to an hour. If you're doing lots of long road trips and want to move fast, gas cars are still the best way to go. However, a Tesla, owning one, it still might end up saving you time overall. For most people when daily commuting, they never have to go to a gas station again. It's just easy to plug in each night when you get at home. You can even slow charge with a standard wall outlet, and that's more than enough for an hour of driving a day. You can skip both gas and charging stations. This can save you time overall. For the 8th Tesla issue, it's a small one, but it's with the supercharging stations. Some of the charging cables and plugins, they don't end up connecting well into the stations. It's really hard to put them back in, and if you're parked really close to it, they can fall out and hit your Tesla. This gave me my first very little scratch on my Tesla, but getting a new car, I was a little more worried back then. For number 9, everyone gets autopilot for free with their Tesla. It's good for lane keeping and speed keeping on the highway. Although, when using it my first year, phantom braking was pretty common. While driving, it starts slowing down abruptly with nothing in the way. It was pretty jarring. This rarely happens anymore, although if I'm using autopilot and a car is close behind me, I keep my foot over the accelerator pedal just in case. This way, if it phantom brakes, I can override it. For another issue with autopilot, the prompts are pretty annoying. Autopilot, it does make me less tired on long road trips. I don't have to constantly make kind of adjustments, that's mental energy. However, it does force you to pay attention with prompts, and multiple times it's blocked me from using it for the rest of the drive. I think this is probably way beyond the safety requirements. Does anyone know, do other car makers with basic lane keeping and speed keeping, do they do the same? Please let us know in the comments. Now, for just one more problem on the driving side, this definitely doesn't impact everyone, but Musk has misled many buyers with FSD and its timeline. He's been overly optimistic. I didn't buy these extra features, and those that did, I wouldn't be surprised to see some legal recourse down the road. Now, don't get me wrong, this is where I tend to get a lot of haters for saying something like that. It's really amazing technology and progress, but it's far from true, unsupervised, full self-driving. Many Teslas on the roads might not even have the hardware required for FSD, true FSD. This next problem with my Tesla, it doesn't happen often, but it's annoying when it does, especially if I'm in a hurry. Sometimes my Model Y, it doesn't lock when I come close to it. And just to fix it each time, I've had to restart my Tesla phone app. That fixes it, but a small little nuisance. Now, this last problem, it applies to not just Tesla, but all EVs. Since the batteries make the cars a lot heavier than gas cars, the tires wear out faster. The quick acceleration can definitely play into that as well. I've seen others replacing their Tesla tires anywhere from 20,000 to 40,000 miles. And I'm already on the higher end with close to 37,000 miles. But I kind of drive like a grandma, I'm not very aggressive. Either way, this just adds to the total cost of ownership. If you're a Tesla owner, do you have any problems to add to this list? It's really helpful for those that are considering buying a Tesla. Please let us know down in the comments, and while you're there, please tap that like button if you haven't already. Overall, buying and driving a Tesla Model Y, it's been great. These issues that I've brought up today, they're all small, luckily small issues. With buying any new car, there's always a chance that you get a lemon, whether it's a Toyota, a Honda, a BMW. Just manufacturing defects can happen. And with any car, you're likely to find plenty of little small issues. I've owned this Tesla for close to 2 years, and in that time, I've spent about $50 total on maintenance. The only cost to me so far has been windshield wiper fluid and new air cabin filters. Buying a new Model Y has never been cheaper. I've tracked its entire price history since it was launched. Now, it's not for everyone, but it just keeps getting better and more affordable. If you are in the market for a Tesla, feel free to use my code for an extra $1,000 discount. I've included it in the description, along with some other useful resources. Otherwise, thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you again soon.